Alright, so I just got a couple new things in the mail today, so I figured I'd show you guys what I got here. So, I just got a package in from Gymshark from the Black Friday sale, so I'll show you guys what I got in that. I got a flexible tripod, Gorilla Pod for the GoPro or the DSLR. So that'll be very helpful because with this GoPro, I've basically just been holding it in my hand. Like it's pretty hard to use like that, so that's definitely going to help out a lot. And then also picked up a 64 gigabyte SD card, which is already in the camera, because I've just been using the 8 gigabytes pretty much all the time now. So I've been running out of space, and the 64 gigabyte will definitely help with that. So I'll show you guys what I got from Gymshark here. So I went ahead and got myself this pretty standard dark blue Gymshark t-shirt. That's how that one looks. And then I went ahead and picked up some of these white Gymshark socks. Pretty cool because I like white socks. So just wanted to show you that real quick. Now I'm going to show you how to maximize your gains this bulking season. So happy bulking season, and let's learn how to bulk. Here we go. What is up, guys? Welcome back. Today I figured I'd make a little video about how to bulk, like everything about bulking, because you know, I don't consider myself an expert on bulking, but I feel like I actually know a lot about bulking because in my experience I pretty much always bulked. My freshman year I was around 145 pounds, and then at the start of my senior year I had bulked up, you know, throughout that whole period of time. At the start of my senior year I was 210 pounds. I do seem to know a lot about bulking through my experience and things I've learned along the way. There's a couple things that come into play when you're talking about bulking. So there's the whole eating portion of it, and then there's also the lifting portion of it. So a lot of gaining weight and bulking up, it comes down to your daily diet and nutrition. I have people coming up to me all the time like saying they can't gain weight, like they're in the gym every day doing so many exercises and everything, but they can't gain weight still. And I tell them that they need to most likely eat more. And you know, they're saying they eat a whole lot of food, but sometimes they need to actually eat more, or they don't really keep track of how much they're eating. So one day they could be eating a whole lot of food, next day they're eating a whole lot less. They're eating like 4,000 calories one day, and the next day they're not consistent with it. They'll have like 2,000 calories. So a lot of it's being consistent with that daily diet. So the first thing that you actually need to do is you need to find your maintenance level of calories. So this is how much your body's going to burn in a day. So however much you eat would match that amount, and then you would essentially not gain any weight, and you would just maintain the same body weight. So what I'd say is start off with like a reasonable number of calories. So you want to start off with maybe like 3,000 calories a day is what I'd probably start off with as a base. And then so eat that amount for the next couple of weeks, the next few weeks, and look at your weight as the days go on, and see how your weight changes. If it's going up, staying the same, or going down. And you know, say it is staying the same. You found that'd be like your maintenance level. Then your weight staying pretty much the same. You've been eating 3,000 calories a day. Then from there, you can go ahead and add some calories to that, because the actual way that you're going to bulk up is being in a caloric surplus, which is eating more calories than your body actually uses, right? So say your body's using 3,000 calories a day, and then say, like I said, you add between 200 to 500 calories to that. So then you're eating, say, 3,300 calories a day. Then you're in a surplus by 300 calories, and your body has to grow. If you're lifting weights properly and everything, you have those extra calories. It's either going to put that towards building muscle, or it's going to store it as fat. So say you start off with 3,200, and you've been weighing yourself for the next couple weeks, and so say then still your weight's not really going up, then it could be a couple things. Like you could still not be eating quite enough, so you might need to up your calories again by like another 200 calories, so then you're eating around 3,400 calories a day. Or it could be something to do with your lifting, which we'll go over a little bit later. But yeah, that's kind of the way that I like to do it. Even if you're using MyFitnessPal, you can, so you track your calories each day, and then you see that based on your morning weights, you could see if you need to bump up your calories slightly and then stay consistent with that amount every day over the next couple of weeks, and then see how your weight actually fluctuates then, see if it goes up a little bit. It's definitely gonna be a slower process because building muscle does take a lot of time compared to like burning fat. You can actually do that a little bit quicker. But yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of time, so your weight's not gonna go up like extremely fast, and if it does, then you could be putting on too much fat. And now there's no way to actually eliminate putting on fat, because when you're in a caloric surplus, you're always going to be putting on at least a little bit of fat, and it depends. Like if you're eating way over your caloric surplus, you're going to be putting on, or if you're eating way over your maintenance level, in a very large caloric surplus, you're going to be putting on a lot of fat and not as much muscle. So you don't want to, you obviously don't want to overeat. So that's why it's important to find what your maintenance level of calories is, so that way you don't actually overeat, and then you actually stay in just a couple hundred calories above your maintenance level, which means you should be able to slowly put on muscle without putting on too much fat. And in my experience, I've eaten 4,000 calories pretty consistently for probably a couple of years now, and I honestly haven't put on much fat at all. So for me, I have a very high metabolism, and it's if I eat even 3,500 calories, I start to 3,500 calories or below, I actually start to lose weight a little bit. Last year during baseball season, I ended up losing 10 pounds, and I was eating at least 3,500 calories a day still, and I ended up losing 10 pounds throughout the season, which is kind of crazy. But, all right, so a few ways that I've used in the past to actually you could track your calories to make sure you're eating consistently, eating about the same amount each day in calories, or just to see simply in a normal day how much you would normally eat. There's a couple ways I'd go about doing this. So there's an app called MyFitnessPal, which it's a really good app. So you can go ahead and just either type in any of the foods you want, and it'll just add it up for them in the app, or you could scan the barcode. It'll add in all the calories and everything throughout the day, and by the end of the day you could see how many calories you have, or if you're trying to hit a certain amount of calories or a certain number of macros, then the app will show you how many calories you've consumed. So the other method I would say to actually tracking your calories a little bit is actually it's kind of like estimating, but what I do is, this is how I personally do it, because in my experience with MyFitnessPal, when you're bulking, especially me, where I have to consume usually around 4,000 calories a day, it's hard to track all that food, all 4,000 calories throughout the day, every single day. It's a lot of tracking to do. So in my experience, you can actually, so say you are trying to hit around 3,500 calories, then you can split your day up in 3 meals. In each one of those, you're trying to hit 1,000 calories each. So that's not too hard to estimate. So for each meal that you consume, you're trying to hit about 1,000 calories. So for breakfast, when you're looking at the labels, or you can even use MyFitnessPal to help you with this, find foods that will add up to around 1,000 calories. And then for lunch, do the same thing, around 1,000 calories. And then another 1,000 calories for dinner. Add up the labels and everything. Search it up on MyFitnessPal if you need to. And then you've got 3,000 calories right there. And then by the end of the day, you just have about 500 calories to finish off. And you could do that however you need to do that. Just a couple extra things at the end of the day. So yeah, like I said, that's a fairly easy way to do it, is just kind of estimating it like that. Or you could go and use MyFitnessPal and track every single thing, which, like I said, gets a little bit tedious after a while, especially if you're not eating, a certain set number of meals, because then you're just adding sporadically different pieces of food in all day long, and it's gonna be difficult sometimes. So now, when you are tracking your calories, I'd say for macros, when you're trying to track like certain numbers of protein, carbs, and fat, I'd say definitely shoot for one gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're 200 pounds, you eat 200 grams of protein per day. And carbs and fat, I'd say it's not as big of a deal. Just like, definitely, of course, don't overdo it on the fats. But, you can eat as much carbs as you want. But yeah, I'd say try to hit that number of protein, 1 pound per, or 1 gram per pound of body weight, to ensure that your body's able to synthesize all that protein and turn it into muscle. Normally when I'm bulking too, I also I use something called If It Fits Your Macros, which is like flexible dieting. So basically, like, it's very difficult to actually eat, you can't eat 6 chicken breasts a day or like 10 chicken breasts a day just to get all your protein in. Or all your calories, and you can't just be eating chicken and rice all day long. Like, it's very difficult to do. Like, you can, but like I said, it's very difficult to do. So you're going to be able to throw some other foods in there too. A couple more like junk food type of foods. I mean, you don't want a dirty bulk and essentially eat all fast food and foods like that. You want to keep it clean, but if you use flexible dieting and if it fits your macros, you're able to kind of eat whatever you want within your limit of calories, and within your as long as you're hitting your protein, your desired level of protein, and hitting those daily calories, you should be able to eat basically whatever you want. But like I said, keep it cleaner. But in my sophomore and junior years, I had to eat Pop-Tarts and like Little Bites muffins and stuff in order to like fill up my calories for the day, because it just is too difficult to eat enough of the clean foods all day long. So you had to add in some other foods, of course, too, to actually hit your number of calories per day, especially if it's a high number of calories like 4,000. So with all that being said, for the whole entire nutrition portion of like bulking up, which is a huge part of it, you want to make sure that you know what your maintenance level of calories is, so that you can be eating in a caloric surplus then, because if you don't know what your maintenance level is, then you're just kind of eating whatever. Because if you're not eating more than your maintenance level is, then you're really not going to build muscle anyways. I mean, that's basically the nutrition portion of bulking up. So let's say you have your nutrition like completely down, right? So there's also a few things you need to make sure you're doing in your lifting too. You need to make sure you're actually progressing with progressive overload. So each week or each time that you come to the gym, you should be trying to actually increase the number of reps or increase the weights. It's not going to happen every time, of course. You're going to have off days and bad days in the gym and stuff like that. But every time you come in, you essentially want to be trying to increase the number of reps you did from last time, or increase the weight that you're doing each time. So say you did dumbbell curls, right? So you're using 40s for 3 sets of 9s. So the next time you come in, you want to try getting the 40-pound dumbbells for a set of 10 and 2 sets of 9. And the next time you come in, you want to try to get the 40-pound dumbbells for 2 sets of 10, 1 set of 9. And then the next time you come in, say you get 3 sets of 10, and essentially then you decide, okay, I'm going to move up in weight. I'm going to do the 45-pound dumbbells now. And then you do like 3 sets of 8. You eventually get to back up to 3 sets of 10. So at that point, you're progressing each week, and you're doing more reps, more weights. Your muscles are getting stronger, and they have to do more work essentially. So your muscles are gonna have to compensate for that extra strength and actually doing that extra work. So they're going to have to grow. So that's how you essentially like force your muscles to grow, is by using progressive overload when you're in the gym. So if you're coming to the gym every time and you're not necessarily progressing, or if you hit a plateau, or if you are coming in doing the same number of reps, same weight each time, you're not really progressing, or you're not pushing yourself enough to progress, then there's really no reason for your body to put any of those extra calories that you're doing all that work to eat, that certain number of calories every day. There's really no reason for your body to put that towards gaining muscle, because you have no reason to gain muscle. So in that case, then you're just going to put on more fat. So you want to make sure that you're progressing in the strength of every exercise you do, because that way your muscles will have to compensate, and they'll actually have to grow to compensate for that added strength. So while it is fairly simple to do, actually bulking up, there's a few things you need to make sure you are consistent with. So you want to make sure that you have your caloric surplus figured out. So you want to make sure you know your maintenance level, and you know how much you need to eat each day. So a certain number of calories, between 200 to 500, over that maintenance. So as long as you're consistent with being in that caloric surplus every day, and you're not overeating way over that caloric surplus, and then as long as you're also being consistent with progressing and having progressive overload in each of your lifts, and gaining strength and doing more reps in each of your exercises, then your muscles will basically have to grow in order to compensate for that, and all those extra calories will have to be put towards building muscle, and then essentially you're going to be gaining weight, and most of it's hopefully going to be muscle. So it's pretty simple to do. Just like I said, a few things you need to follow. This is basically like everything I've kind of learned in my experience, and from just watching so many videos online and everything about actually how to bulk up, and how to lift, and basically everything. So this is everything kind of put in one about how to bulk, because in my experience I basically always bulked up, and it's always kind of worked for me. It took me a little bit of like figuring out how to do it, so I just wanted to share with you guys in my experience like what it takes and what you have to do. I thank you guys for watching. I hope you got something out of this. Subscribe right now if you haven't. There should be more videos coming up soon, and drop a like, leave some comments down below what you thought of this type of video, more of an instructional type of video. Leave some comments what you guys want to see, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.